Oh, so she showed up at these various events, and as you can imagine, the internet did not miss. They did not miss.
You won't believe what Angel Reese just pulled at the Super Bowl. She actually called out another player for being selfish. The irony is off the charts. This is coming from the same player who barely ever passes the ball. And before you say, didn't the NFL just call her an LSU legend? Buckle up, because we're about to break down why that title might be a bit of a stretch and why Caitlin Clark is the real legend in the making.
She showed up to one event, and there's a couple of different places that put out the same video clip, and there was a lot of response to it, but one could only say, could you cover the chesticles up? She was out everywhere.
It's almost like Reese forgot she was there to watch the game and not steal the spotlight. Picture this. She shows up wearing an outfit with more flash than her game. Seriously, this is the biggest football event of the year, not a fashion contest.
And she showed up right here with her business out. You can see the business is just everywhere. Chesticles bouncing all over the place. Let's check this out.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. How are you?
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So you're a super smart woman. I have to ask you, smart.
But here's where things really heat up. Reese decided to call out another player for being selfish. Can you even believe the hypocrisy? You're probably thinking, wait, isn't Reese the one who never passes the ball? You'd be absolutely right, which is exactly why this move totally blew up in her face.
I'm honest though.
Okay, if I'm asking you to sum me out.
You ask, I'm summing you up.
So if I'm asking you to sum me out.
I am. Do your job.
But I'm the captain.
That don't mean.
I don't respect that. If I'm asked, sum me out.
Okay.
But if I feel like I'm not feel, I'm gonna let you know.
You can't be selfish because I seen you at the All-Star game before and you won the sport and not pass the ball.
Now, let's talk about the reaction. Social media went wild, and not in a good way. Fans and analysts alike called Reese out for her complete lack of self-awareness. It was like watching a slow-motion disaster, except instead of a car crash, it was her reputation crumbling. People were posting left and right, questioning her actions, and wondering if she had completely lost touch with reality.
So, right here, this guy said, did she really say you can't be selfish when she takes 30 shots and misses 27 of them instead of passing to her teammates?
Even Reese's most loyal fans couldn't defend her this time. They were like, girl, what are you doing? Focus on your game, not the cameras. When your own supporters are telling you to sit down and chill, you know it's bad. People who used to cheer for her every move were now shaking their heads in disappointment.
Crash, yeah, there you go. She's not any good at basketball, so she has to show some skin to stay relevant. A lot of people called her out over wearing heels because she's so damn tall.
Meanwhile, the NFL was hyping Reese up as an LSU legend, putting her alongside Jaden Daniels. But fans weren't buying it. They immediately pointed out the difference between a true legend and someone just chasing attention. It was like watching a magic trick fail in front of a live audience. Nobody was fooled.
Angel, only a legend in her own mind. A lot of people roasted the legend part. Yeah, laughed my ass off. Legend and Angel Reese should never be in the same sentence.
Now you might be wondering, how does this Super Bowl fiasco connect to Reese's popularity? Well, brace yourself, because the numbers will shock you. How many viewers tuned into Reese's biggest games compared to Clark's jersey retirement? Reese's top games barely pulled in 100,000 viewers, while Clark's jersey retirement drew a staggering 1.1 million.
Look at the final viewings. 1.1 million average viewers. 1.1 million. It was only more viewed by that other game. The second most viewed game of the season was a iffy. I'm not even gonna call them a good Iowa team. An iffy Iowa team. Just because they were playing against, just because Caitlin Clark was in the building. Simple as that. Caitlin Clark being in the building.
Let that sink in for a second. Clark doesn't even have to play to outdraw Reese's actual games. It's like comparing a sold-out arena concert to a high school talent show. The difference is that big. But it's not just about the numbers. It's about the impact. While Reese was busy trying to grab attention at the Super Bowl, Clark was making waves simply by being herself in the basketball world.
So Angel Reese, now correct me if I'm wrong, the Unrivaled League is going on right now, question mark? Is an actual thing? Unrivaled had games yesterday? This is their season, right? They got games tomorrow. Angel Reese, of course, as you can expect, would be on the basketball court, deep in the lab, really putting in work. Except she wasn't. She went to the Super Bowl.
And just like that, Reese's attempt to steal the spotlight turned into a harsh lesson. Actions speak louder than flashy outfits. It's like she showed up to a chess match with a checkerboard, thinking she was making a power move, when in reality, she was just proving how out of touch she's become.
Angel Reese shows up to the Super Bowl, and you guys never disappoint. Ever. The internet does not miss when it comes to Angel Reese. They're going to let you know how they feel.
You have to wonder, what was Reese thinking? Did she actually believe this stunt would boost her image? If so, it backfired spectacularly. Instead of coming across as a confident, accomplished athlete, she looked like someone desperate for attention, willing to do anything to stay relevant.
Wow. Can someone please get her a real PR person? She's going to blow it. A lot of people have said that over and over and over again.
Now, let's talk about Caitlin Clark. What was she up to while Reese was stirring up drama at the Super Bowl? Get ready, because this is where things get really interesting. While Reese was busy playing dress-up, Clark was laser-focused on her game.
And, you know, a lot of people will say, well, Rhodes, you're not going to call out Caitlin Clark for being at the Super Bowl. She's not playing in the league right now. She's not in a league right now. The league season is not going on right now. I'm just throwing that out there, seriously.
Clark actually skipped the Super Bowl completely. That's right. She passed on one of the biggest events of the year. But here's the best part. Instead of partying, Clark was in the gym, putting in work like it was just another day. Can you believe that? While everyone else was watching the game, she was grinding, showing exactly why she's the real deal.
Just expanding her bag. So no matter what teams throw at her, she can handle that. He said he wants her to feel so comfortable in her skill set that it doesn't matter what the defense does. And he wants other teams to feel like they're just going to have to accept getting buckets from Caitlin Clark. If Caitlin Clark wants to drop 20 or 30 a game, they're just going to have to accept that because there's not much they can do to stop her.
But it gets even better. Clark wasn't just working on herself. She was already showing leadership by welcoming a new teammate, DeWanna Bonner. That's what true stars do. They don't chase the spotlight. They lift up the people around them. This kind of leadership might not make flashy headlines, but it's what separates the greats from the rest.
You know, a lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness, she and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of all the broadcast value of the WNBA last season.
You might be thinking, okay, that's nice, but does it really matter in the long run? The answer is absolutely. While Reese was making headlines for all the wrong reasons, Clark was steadily dominating and inspiring the next generation. Coaches and analysts weren't just taking notice. They were raving about Clark's work ethic and commitment to getting better.
So even though we are not able to see Caitlin Clark play in an organized league this offseason, we are getting to see her go game speed, and it'll just be really exciting to see how these little tweaks add up to the full package of Caitlin Clark gameplay that we will hopefully see during this next WNBA season.
And it's not just about what Clark is doing for herself. It's about the impact she's having on the sport. Young athletes are watching her and learning that real success comes from hard work, not from chasing attention. Clark is showing that being a superstar isn't about making the most noise. It's about making the most baskets.
This is going to be history. It's like what I told her. That's pretty epic that we get to watch her, you know, because not a lot of games here in Dallas with somebody that big of a star.
Speaking of baskets, let's talk about Clark's game. She's not just good. She's changing the landscape of women's basketball. She's not just scoring points. She's rewriting the record books. While some players are focused on going viral, Clark is busy making history.
Sure, look, either way, Caitlin Clark's going to be better than last year. Touch wood, barring injury, it's likely we see the greatest ever season for a point guard in WNBA history next season. Which, if you're a fan of Caitlin Clark, it's big.
And the best part? Clark isn't even trying to be the face of the sport. It's happening naturally. She's not bragging, calling people out, or forcing the narrative. She's just putting in the work, day after day. That's why she's becoming the face of women's basketball. Not because she's chasing fame, but because she can't help but be great.
And that is a huge, huge positive for the Fever and everyone involved in women's basketball. Because again, the better the face of the league plays, the more people watch in general, the better it is for everybody.
All right, let's talk numbers. Because in basketball, stats don't lie. And these rankings are about to blow your mind. ESPN just dropped their 2025 WNBA rankings. And guess who's near the top? That's right, Caitlin Clark.
Like, there are levels to fame. And the level of fame Caitlin Clark is at might be up there with the highest levels there are, if I'm being honest. So, like, yeah, it's just an all-around shock, to be honest.
And where's Angel Reese? Brace yourself. She barely cracked the top 15. Ouch! For someone who talks a big game, that's got to sting. But it gets even worse. Look at how these rankings play out in real life. Clark's games are pulling in massive crowds, breaking records left and right. Every time she steps on the court, history is being made. Meanwhile, Reese's games? Let's just say they look more like a high school JV match than a professional event.
And also, we've got ESPN's ranks of WNBA players right now. And Caitlin Clark is really damn high. One could argue she's not high enough. But I think it's pretty surprising for a lot of these folks. I will tell you this straight up. Angel Reese ain't nowhere to be found in the top 10. She's not involved. You're not here. Sorry, but not sorry. You're not to be seen.
And it's not just about popularity. Clark is putting up performances that belong in the record books. Meanwhile, how often has Angel Reese been missing layups lately? It's happening so much that fans are making compilation videos of her misses. Can you believe that? While Reese struggles with basic shots, Clark is out here hitting deep threes like it's nothing.
So, let's all get a laugh together here, because this is the list. And you see the list, right? Well, I don't see, correct me if I'm wrong, do you see Angel Reese on this list?
Now, let's look at the bigger picture. While Clark is out there inspiring the next generation, what's Reese doing? The analysis suggests she's more focused on fame than improving her game, and it's starting to show. Clark's dedication is paying off, not just in stats, but in how she's perceived by fans and experts.
I mean, that's rare. That's a rare sighting these days. But you know what's not a rare sighting? Missing your shots. Oh, it is clear. The one thing Angel Reese has not been doing is been in the lab working on layups. That has not been a thing. Because once again, she was crap last night shooting the ball.
And here's the real kicker. This isn't just about rankings or stats. These numbers are shaping the future of women's basketball. Clark isn't just playing the game, she's elevating it. She's proving what's possible when you focus on your craft instead of clout.
So, Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement got a lot of viewers, right? But what if I told you just the fact that Caitlin Clark was in the building for this game made it one of the most popular games in women's college basketball for the season?
Meanwhile, Reese's 15 minutes of fame might be running out. Remember when she was everywhere? Now, compared to Clark's skyrocketing status, she's barely making an impact. In sports, performance speaks louder than any social media stunt or flashy event appearance.
Now, I don't know where you are on Caitlin Clark, a lot of you viewers, but one could argue she's not high enough. Her haters will be furious that she's as high as they are, and there's a few of those comments. She's pretty damn high. There's only one player ahead of her in the league, and a lot of us could argue she may pass that player this year.
This is a real-time lesson in building a lasting legacy. You might think it's all about viral moments, but the true legends show up day after day, putting in the work when no one's watching.
It's scary. It is actually scary how much of a draw Caitlin Clark is as a player. Like, that for me is something that I can't really comprehend. Not even as a player, as a person. And I think the fact that she's not on social media, that she's not everywhere, like, she is everywhere, but like, there's a big difference between someone who's putting themselves out there, and I still think it's still like a novelty to see Caitlin Clark in places where it's like, oh, if you see her at the Taylor Swift concert, oh my god, Caitlin Clark's there. Like, it's still a bit of a novelty to that with Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball. She's changing the game. The Indiana Fever is already preparing to build their future around her. Meanwhile, Reese's Super Bowl stunt? Yeah, that happened, but for all the wrong reasons. In basketball, your skills do the talking. Right now, Clark's game is shouting, while Reese's is barely a whisper.
But yeah, like, it's still just a crazy overall. Just seeing the numbers, seeing everything with this, seeing how many people Caitlin Clark has been able to get at the games, seeing all of this stuff is, I would say it's unbelievable. I'd say Caitlin Clark herself is still probably in a little bit of shock with this, like, not really understanding what is going on with her and what's going on with this entire situation.